All right, and we are live. What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, Twitch? Thank you for joining us for our first live episode of the Atlantic Files. We're here to talk to you guys about the trade deadline and, of course, James Harden and the trade for Ben Simmons. Now, we don't have, for the video portion, we don't have our little intro video this time because we want to get right into this thing. So,
nobody cares anyways.
I mean, yeah, that's true too. So, let's talk it up right now, fellas. We got Dennis Clausen here for the Let's Go Bengals for those at home. We got Mike Bash, the I Love Ben Simmons when we all know he doesn't. Myself, Alex Fishbein. We are the Atlantic Files podcast, the number one podcast on the number one division in the NBA, brought to you by the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. So, fellas, James Harden, Paul Millsap to Philly, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks, one of them being very highly protected. Well, not highly protected, but pretty much top 8 protected. Give me your thoughts. Let's talk about it.
How many knees is Joel Embiid going to have left by the time that pick materializes? That's my first question.
I mean, the 2027 one, probably not many.
But, Dennis, you want to go first? I know you're a big Ben Simmons fan, so I'll let you give us a raw reaction to the trade.
Well, I am actually ecstatic that Ben Simmons is coming to Brooklyn. I've always been a big Ben Simmons guy. Everybody knows that. What he brings is definitely what is needed in Brooklyn. Some defense. He's coming along with Drummond. Drummond's fantastic. Drummond's probably the best rebounder in the league right now. They added shooting, getting Seth Curry, so that's all fantastic. James Harden, I think that this is going to be the end of the process right now, him going to Philly, because he just doesn't look like the same guy that he used to be. He's sluggish. He's slow. He's not shooting well. He's constantly bitching and complaining after not getting foul calls. And this is a good move for Brooklyn because Harden needed to go. Although I don't blame him for wanting to go. A couple nights ago, Woj came out and said that they wanted to build with James Harden. Windhorse kind of, said that they were looking to deal him, so they both of them had a little dick measuring contest to see who was going to get the news out first, and then, but here we are, right? Before the trade deadline, they made the trade. So if you look though at Harden, though, I don't really blame him for being upset with the whole situation. You could tell he didn't want to be there. He didn't want it to get out that he wanted to be traded. Even though we know he did, because he wouldn't opt into his player option going to Philly if he didn't want to end up in Philly. Go ahead.
Before you go past that, I just want to say how dumb that report and that tweet sounded, because it was like, oh, he wanted to request a trade, but he didn't want to do it officially because he was scared of the backlash.
I mean,
now it's being reported, now it's official, now you're going to get backlash. So, like,
I mean, how the fuck are people going to find out anyways? If this all goes back to what I was saying, and I'll let you go in a second here, Mike, but I've been thinking about this all day. But this goes back to originally when, I said that there was that talk about Kyrie getting traded, and it looks like we have the source of that right now, and it had to be James Harden, because this guy said, hey, look, I came to Brooklyn. This guy's not getting vaccinated for his team. I got a bum hamstring, and I'm still out here putting miles on. And Kyrie's not getting vaccinated. When other players in the league who are against vaccination, they are getting vaccinated. So why can't this guy go? And it's not that, Kyrie is. It's not the vaccination thing. It's probably more has to do with the fact that it's Kyrie doing it. So, of course, it pissed him off, which is where we're at right now.
So,
Before you go, Mike, I just want to give a shout out here. The people are acknowledging your Lion King shirt.
Yeah, I'm wearing my Hakuna Matata shirt, if you could see it. And Hakuna Matata translates to, it means no worries. All right, James Harden, I understand James Harden's frustrations. I understand where he's coming from. He came here to play with KD and Kyrie, and as we saw in the graphic, they played 16 games together. Now, in those 16 games, they had like an 85% winning percentage, which is amazing. But they couldn't all stay on the court. KD got hurt. It was unfortunate. Kyrie is a lunatic, but that comes with, the experience, the Kyrie experience. And James Harden, yeah, he gave us his all. I will never have a bad word to say about James Harden. But the thing was, I thought this was the best move for the Nets franchise. One, James Harden is 32, 33 years old, costing, $48 million, $45 million? And he is a declining player. He is not what he was in Houston when he was winning scoring titles and putting up 30 and 10 every night. He's just not that player anymore. He's clearly lost a step. Now, 90% James Harden doesn't mean he's a bad player. He's still going to get you 25, 8, and 5 every night. That's a great player. You'll take that at any time from any player. But Nets fans, the Nets organization, for how many months now, we're like, oh, James Harden's just going to play himself into shape. James Harden just got to get a rhythm going. Like, it clearly wasn't happening. It clearly... We weren't going to see the tantalizing upside of that big three. But you know what we do see? We see Ben Simmons, who I think fits with this Nets team perfectly. I think he's going to fit like a glove. Because, no, listen, Dennis, you're shaking your head. Why did we lose to the Bucks last year? We didn't lose because we couldn't score. We lost because we couldn't get a damn rebound. Because Brook Lopez either rebounded everything, tapped it out, or Giannis did the same thing. Right, so now we bring in Andre Drummond, who averages like 17 rebounds per 36 minutes, or like 22 rebounds. Then we bring in Ben Simmons, who's 6'10" and can rebound. And Ben Simmons now has like a third of the pressure that he had to play with in Philly. He's not being asked to save the franchise. He's not being asked to be the go-to guy. He's being asked to defend, rebound, and make plays.
This is fucking unbelievable. That this is coming out of your mouth. This is the same shit I've been saying for months.
Dennis, but you don't know what you're talking about half the time.
I mean, you're literally saying the same shit.
When we get to the playoffs, we're going to be the most rested team in the playoffs. Kyrie hasn't played a game at Barclays Center. Ben Simmons hasn't played a game all season. And now Kevin Durant's missing a month. We're going to be full of energy, no wear and tear on the legs for the season. This is setting up perfectly. The Nets are going to go on a little mini run. They're probably going to draw the Sixers in round 1, and we will sweep the Sixers and be lifting the Larry O'Brien trophy at the end of the season.
Bro, this shit is good.
What'd you say?
I don't think that's a hot take. Because I think
this is the shit I've been saying for months, though.
To win it all.
This is the shit I've been saying for months. The exact same stuff that you just said is what I've been saying for months. And both of you guys thought I was fucking crazy when I was literally saying that same stuff about Ben Simmons. And now you got my beef with Harden is that he went to Brooklyn and he just completely. I think it's a little unprofessional. You go to Brooklyn. You let yourself get out of shape. Who the hell knows if he had a hamstring injury or not? Who knows if he had a hand injury or not? I mean, I get his frustration, but you're letting your team down, all right, which was the exact thing that he was pissed off about with Kyrie doing, and he went and possibly did the same shit. So my whole thing is that, okay, now he's going to Philly. Maybe he'll play a little bit better. We'll see how him and Embiid get along because they're both, big personalities.
So I will just say I have not liked Harden from the start. I've never been a Harden guy. So I have had very mixed feelings about this whole trade. A, because I like Seth Curry. I like Andre Drummond as our backup center. Andre Drummond has been Andre Drummond has been the best backup center that Joel Embiid has had his entire career.
And what was I saying too? I was praising Andre Drummond, and you weren't really too thrilled about getting him either.
Dennis Stradamus strikes again.
Remember, I said something, and you're like, well, he can't stretch the floor or some bullshit you gave me. And I'm like, bro, this guy could be a starting center in the league.
I wasn't giving you that he can't stretch the floor. I was saying that he gets game planned off the floor when it comes to the playoffs.
Right. Okay. Now I remember that.
But that's still left to be seen because last playoffs he was on the Lakers. He got game planned right off the floor, couldn't play a minute. And for the regular season, perfect backup center. Perfect.
The problem with James Harden and the Sixers is James Harden is, I can't think of the right term. I want to say like a hot potato, but I don't think that's the right term. He's a grenade. Whoever gets caught holding him last is going to be the team it blows up on. And unfortunately, I think that's the Philadelphia 76ers. I can't think of the word. I thought it's like, isn't there a game we played as kids, or it was like not hot potato? It was like some sort of like, you didn't want to be holding it when the timer went off. It's like,
it was hot potato.
It was hot potato?
Yeah, it was hot potato.
Okay. He is the hot potato.
Moron.
And that's not a weight joke on him. That's a body shaming on him. That's whatever team ends up with him and signs him for 4 more years is you're blowing up your team. The Sixers making this trade closed their window to win a championship.
He ain't gonna make it through this entire cut. He's not gonna make it to the end of next year.
Oh, I don't expect him to make it to the end of next year. And real quick, I'll address this comment here from Adam on YouTube. I really hope Charles Bassey does get some minutes. I have liked him as a rookie, so he's probably going to get some minutes as a backup center if they don't make a move. So I would love to see
Basketball Society. I did do a Charles Bassey pre-draft write-up on him. Go check that out too.
Ah, there you go.
And I can't see any of these comments because I don't know what.
It's on the screen.
Okay.
On the bottom left there.
All right, there we go.
So yeah, I also agree that Bassey's going to get some time. He's going to get some. Well, he at least should. I never know what Doc's going to do. But when it comes to Harden, the big thing with me is when Harden blew up and became a top 5 player in Houston, when he got all of the accolades, whatever it may be, he still disappeared in the playoffs. He still had a bad attitude. He still thought everything was about him and blah, blah, blah. Their best chance when they had Chris Paul and Chris Paul got hurt, they blew it because Harden had like 13, 14 turnovers in Game 7. They missed a historic amount of threes in a row.
Yeah, I was going to say they went, 3 for 46 from three-point line that game?
Yeah, and they missed like 27 threes in a row or something.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And on top of that, the whole thing of, okay, in Houston, he's fed up with coming up short. So he's like, you know what? Going to Brooklyn, going to get my big 3 with KD and Kyrie and win an easy ring. Finds out it's not easy because then Kyrie gets hurt. Then he gets hurt with his hamstring. Then this year comes, Kyrie doesn't get vaccinated, goes on a post-game press conference and says, we should be about the team. Of all people to say it, when Kyrie said that, I literally laughed my ass off. But then he's like, oh, this isn't an easy ring, and then wants to get traded to Philly. And I'm like, you realize the moment you start messing up in Philly, it's not going to be easy. The whole reason Ben Simmons doesn't want to be here is because of the fans. So I don't know where Harden's mindset is at here, but it doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy inside, and it doesn't make me any confident, on top of the fact that the Sixers' track record for trading for big names is terrible. The last 3 big names that the Sixers traded for: Elton Brand, Chris Webber, and Andrew Bynum.
Before I answer this, can I just say one thing? I don't know if any of you witnessed this, or Alex. Dennis just drank out of his cup. He undid the straw, which he has, to drink out of it, to then close it and then drink out of the straw. Like, what is wrong with you?
I tried to block that out as I was talking.
Well, the thing is I didn't like seeing myself on camera drink it like that because it looked weird to me to make
you're 38 with like a 18-year-old mindset.
Yeah, so it looked weird, but then I realized that it has to be like that because it's so much easier to drink out of it when the top is on. So I had to make a call, and I said, you know what? At the risk of not looking favorable, I'm just going to drink it how I'm supposed to drink it.
But anyway, Alex, I've heard a lot of experts or analysts around the league say that this trade could be the trade that ruins or ends Daryl Morey's career.
It could be.
And I'm just, if we're going to dig a grave for Daryl Morey, I wish he didn't bring Tyrese Maxey with him. I really was hoping for one of those two young wings. We did get the better shooting Curry from percentage standpoint.
Oh yeah, Seth Curry's been great.
And we got 2 first-round picks back. And I don't care if it's pick 20 or pick 32, because we've seen Sean Marks knows how to draft. I think he took LeVert. He took Jared Allen, Cam Thomas, Nick Claxton, even Kessler Edwards has looked good. Like, you give him a draft pick, and he does wonders with it. So I thought this trade was a home run. I think the Nets are going to take off once. I don't know when Ben Simmons is going to play for us. Hopefully after the All-Star break.
I mean, miraculously, his mental
we got
health
2
is
Aussies.
cured.
I wanted Thibault. I wanted the whole. We got Patty Mills from Australia. You got Ben Simmons from Australia. Kyrie was born in Australia. I wanted Thibault to complete like we could have signed Aaron Baines if he's recovered from his freak injury. We would have had an all Aussie lineup, but no, it's all good. I think it's exciting to be a Nets fan again. I feel like I did that night in London when I found out that KD and Kyrie signed with the Nets, and it's great. I'm happy. I love Ben Simmons. I've never been a bigger fan of Ben Simmons than I am right now.
Oh, shut the fuck up!
For all of those watching that might not have listened to the last few episodes we've had about Ben Simmons, Mike has talked the most shit about Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons is one of those players who you hate to not have him, you love to have him.
Yeah, now he's on a team. You're rock hard. You're ready to go. Like,
I already went on Alibaba and ordered my $25 Ben Simmons jersey from Youngwoo, China. So.
Here's the thing.
Can I fucking say something real quick? Because I've been waiting to say something.
Go ahead.
Mike won't shut up, so I can't get a word in. But all I was going to say is this is one of those things where, you just don't know what you got till it's gone. And all these Sixers fans, it is. I was going to sing it, but I didn't think you guys would be old enough to know the song, so I didn't fucking sing it.
Well, let's hear it. Let's hear your vote.
No, I'm not going to. Idiot.
Don't force it.
Yeah, I can't do that on cue. But yeah, it's when you see James Harden's I don't blame him for doing what he did. The only problem I had with him was just how we acted toward the end and how we got out of shape and everything. But I've never been a big Kyrie guy, so I don't blame him. But all I know is that now the Sixers fans, they're really gonna they asked for this.
I mean,
and I'm talking to you too. You asked for this. This is
I didn't
what
ask
you
for
want.
Harden.
No,
I never asked for Harden.
You wanted Ben Simmons out, so that meant that you ran the risk.
Play, why would I want to keep him?
Why would he play for that team?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he's not going to play, I'm not going to keep him.
Well, maybe you should have been a little nicer to him.
Maybe he should have learned to shoot a free throw.
Well,
maybe he shouldn't have been a bitch.
Oh, those are some fighting words.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Maybe he's going to come back. He's going to be a dominant 3-point shooter. He's going to be, 78% from the free throw line. Defensive ratings 97%. He's just going to be fantastic. And
you want a hot take for the rest of the season? I think James Harden is going to knock up more strippers than Ben Simmons makes free throws.
I'll take that bet.
But no, my thing is, Ben Simmons, we know the whole situation there. He wasn't going to play. He's going to claim his mental health. He's going to try not to pay fines, blah, blah, blah. And then James Harden is just trying to bounce around to get himself finally to get a ring. But now, with all this happening, all of a sudden, Rich Paul, Ben Simmons, everyone was like, oh, he's making strides. He's almost ready to get out on the court. We're like getting up to the right place. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Miraculously, his mental health is cured. Because he never had those issues.
How
and he
dare
probably
you?
wasn't seeing anybody.
How dare you?
You made the
not,
same comment.
do not discredit this man. This man was ill with mental illness, and how dare you?
Ben Simmons
Question
insulted
him.
people with real mental health issues.
Just want to let you know that according to Scoop B, our favorite NBA insider, Ben Simmons will join the Nets tomorrow.
Exactly. He was already talking with KD. He was already talking
He
with
already
Sean
cured his
Marks.
mental illness. All it needed was a trade.
That's
He was sick of the cheesesteaks. He wanted a nice, crunchy slice of pizza.
yeah. I don't know how you could get.
The Sixers even started selling Australian meat pies for his crybaby ass.
What the fuck's a meat pie?
Exactly. Something from
Dennis
Australia
sounds
that
like
they started
Dennis-
selling just
Dennis
because
has
of
had
Ben
himself
Simmons.
a few meat pies.
I don't. I have a feeling if I googled meat pie, something else would probably come up.
Oh,
All I'm
Lord.
gonna say about this and what the Sixers are selling is I won't even get to have one of these Australian meat pies because Alex's girlfriend, maybe fiance, I don't know if you're there yet, decided to sell his Nets Sixer tickets next month and screwed me out of going. How do you like that?
He was
All
going
right,
to take me
give her
anyways.
A break. Give her a break.
Yeah, I agree to help them out with some professional work here. And how do they repay me? They sell their Nets tickets.
Well,
She
yeah,
has
I mean,
apologized. Everything's fine. It's bridge under the water.
let me
Water under the bridge. Sorry, the other way around.
let me tell you
A
something.
bridge under the water is pretty hard.
You saw what I did to this thing. That could have been you if you would have taken me to the Sixers Nets game.
I'm glad I sold them then. I'm so glad they're gone.
Dennis, he doesn't want to see you put down 4 water ices.
And you know what?
Oh hell yeah, he would have.
To go along with that, Dennis, we got this comment here from William. You can say whatever you want about Philly, but we know you love crushing Turkey Hill at Citizens Bank Park.
Oh yeah, that's my boy. What up, Will?
Water ice.
Yeah, we'll watch me throw down a couple Turkey Hills too. So he knows.
Oh, he's seen it firsthand. He's
He's a first-hand witness.
But look, my main issue with this whole trade is, like I said, I feel like the at least from a Philly fan perspective, there is a like stereotypical doomsday Philly fandom where everyone thinks that like Philly fans are just automatically thinking the worst because normally the worst happens with Philly sports. And this is probably the first time that I've taken on the doomsday Philly fan persona because, as I said, the Sixers track record with trading for big names, even if you throw in Jimmy Butler, that didn't progress them much further, and he left that offseason because he couldn't deal with Ben Simmons and Brett Brown. So the last 5-6 big names they traded for, like, you have to go all the way back to either, if you count Dikembe Mutombo as a big name, then you could say he worked out. But the last big name that actually worked out for the Sixers in a trade goes all the way back to Moses Malone. So I have no confidence that that's even going to work out. And on top of it, as I said before, I've never liked James Harden's attitude about anything. And he predicates his game on getting to the line, but so does Embiid. So at this point...
So you're screwed in the playoffs.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will Go ahead.
Are the refs really going to give them both like 15, 16 free throw attempts per game? Probably not.
What you're saying is that Alex, when it comes playoff time, what little hair he has left, he's going to be pulling out.
Oh, I know I'm going to be frustrated.
You want to know something though? Harden definitely has a legit bitch though, because they will not call a foul on this guy ever.
I mean,
ever,
especially this year, yeah.
Like he was the poster boy. He's gotten fouled so many times, and they've never called they barely call fouls on him.
I mean, he was the reason for all those new foul call rules.
Yeah, but then he wasn't getting anything. And by the way, an Australian meat pie, also known as an Aussie pie, is an Australian or New Zealand a hand-sized pie containing diced or minced meat and gravy, sometimes with onion, mushrooms, or cheese. That's often consumed as a takeaway food snack. That sounds like shit.
Yeah,
sounds like you could put down a few of those.
I mean, I wouldn't say no.
Dennis hasn't met a pie he hasn't liked.
Know what I mean?
Have you ever had a shoe fly pie?
Know what I mean? World-renowned pie eater.
Oh my god!
Pumpkin.
Yeah. Apple.
Next 4th of July, we're putting Dennis up against Joey Chestnut in a pie.
Kobayashi.
we just gotta give him a good nickname.
I will choke to death. I mean, I can't even drink out of that water bottle.
But all right, so
we need to get you one of those hats where you put the two cans
the beer
in there
hats,
like SpongeBob.
Oh god! But so, if you had to guess, what do you think is going to be the starting five? What do you think is going to be the playoff rotation for the Nets?
Kyrie, Ben, KD, Curry, and one of Drummond or Aldridge. Probably Aldridge.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Drummond is in that type of shape.
I don't want to play Ben and Drummond together.
You probably not.
So it'll probably be Aldridge.
Ben and Dwight didn't work well together, so Ben and Drummond probably won't work well together.
And then Joey Buckets could be coming back. Hopefully he doesn't have to miss the rest of the season. If he comes back, that'll be huge. But hopefully the good Joe Harris comes back, not the guy who missed every 3-point shot he was taking.
You mean the Joe Harris that I put in the same sentence as LeBron James?
Yeah, that worked out well for you too.
Oh god. I will say I was actually surprised they didn't trade Joe Harris at all. Like not specifically in this trade, but in any trade, because it seemed like they were going to, since he's just on the shelf.
Yeah, but I think the likely trade scenario would have been for like Miles Turner, but they're like, he's got a broken foot too, so what the fuck are we doing there?
True.
You know what I mean?
That's probably why they shifted to wanting Drummond, because Drummond's name wasn't in any of the rumors until just today.
No, I heard it yesterday. I was literally just glued. And then, like I said, there was that big, competition between Woj and Windhorse, and Windhorse was adamant that the only reason that this deal wasn't get done is because the Nets were looking for Maxey, Curry, Drummond, and Simmons for Harden. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very glad that they didn't give up Maxey or Matisse. Especially because if they gave up Matisse, that means both of our best defenders would be gone, getting James Harden, who plays no defense. So that would have been a disaster in and of itself. But I will say it'll be interesting. I'm very curious to see how it works, how well it might work out, especially in the beginning. I think there's going to have to be a huge learning curve in the beginning just for Harden to play with Embiid, because the best big man Harden's probably played with is
Nick
Capella.
Claxton.
Nah, get Nick Claxton the hell out of
here. I played with Dwight Howard.
Serge Ibaka?
Yeah, but that was Dwight way after his prime.
Yeah, but
Serge Ibaka,
even
maybe.
even shit Dwight Howard is better than prime Clint Capella.
I mean, I could give you that.
I mean, we're talking about
every day. Dennis reminds me that he is like, get off my lawn kind of guy.
But I'll say
I just fucking hate everything. I don't know why I'm programmed that way.
Yeah, you saw his Facebook post the other day.
Yeah, just everything pisses me off.
But the other thing,
Dennis stormed the Capitol on January 6th.
You think I'm going to get off my couch for that stupid shit?
They didn't sell water ice at the Capitol.
No.
But Harden has never played with a big man that can do something more than just catch lobs. So I'm interested to see how it's going to work. Again, I'm going into this with very low expectations, but high hopes. And we're going to see what's going to happen. But now that, as we talked about before, Bassie is probably the next. I mean, he's the only true center listed on the roster after Embiid. So I have no idea what they're going to do with the backup center position. They might bring B-ball Paul back up. Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to work the buyout area. But, the Bassie will probably be in there. B-ball Paul will probably be brought up for a little while. It's going to be a bunch of different people. And then at this point, hopefully Shake Milton comes back at some point. He's had a back issue for the last month and a half. So Shake Milton needs to come back for the bench squad because there's no point guard or anybody that leads the bench squad. And Doc Rivers loves his all bench lineups for no damn reason. So it's because he's an idiot. Oh, I know he's an idiot. If Doc can't do anything with Harden and Embiid, even if say Harden stays healthy next season, they run it back, they have everybody, they add some more pieces. If Doc can't do it, his ass does not deserve to be on that top 15 coaches of NBA history list.
They'll be calling Brett Brown back, to come back.
They'll call Larry Brown back and be like, "Hey, you wanna help us out?"
He's like, "I'm 100, but I'll do what I can."
Exactly. But yeah, so like I said, very low expectations, high hopes. I'm gonna see what happens. If Harden plays by Saturday, I'm actually gonna be in the house for the game. It's against Cleveland, so that actually should be a good game.
Oh, he'll be good to go.
Mobley and Garland and Lambert
and Jared Allen.
I'm gonna rename my dynasty team the Cleveland Cavaliers
and Jared Allen.
Yeah, because you were so high on the Cavs too, right?
Bastradamus.
And William just said, if the blackout keeps going, just pull in Bryce Harper to play small forward. Hey, I'm all for it. Bryce Harper did everything he could for the Phillies.
All 6'3" of them.
Yeah, why not? Seth Curry's the same height.
Not at small forward.
Will and I went to opening day one time when Bryce Harper got traded, and I will never fucking go to opening day in Philadelphia.
Bryce Harper never got traded in his life, so don't know what you're doing.
When he signed, all right? I am not a baseball guy. When he signed.
I mean, I'm sure it was insane because that was the
to be
first
fair,
big
Dennis,
signing
you saw his at bat in between water ice number 1 and water ice number 2. So.
Oh, we were throwing him down.
I don't know. His first at bat, he might have already been on 4 or 5.
Well, Dennis had to have a pregame water ice.
Exactly.
Then a first inning water ice.
I bought some Luigi's water ice.
Ooh, yeah, you sent us a Snapchat.
All
right. We talked about the Nets and the Sixers.
Yes. So
the other trades that happened.
Let's get to the Kings.
Haliburton, Sabonis.
The Kings get Sabonis. Did they? I don't remember if they got anybody else. Hold on, let me see here. I have it up.
They got the Kings got Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and
I can share my screen
Holiday.
Right here.
And the Pacers got Healed.
Yep. So Pacers got Haliburton, Buddy Hield, Tristan Thompson. Kings got Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and a 2023 second round pick.
You should have covered Mike's face with that
thing. The
thing.
thing for the Pacers, I guess the good thing for the Pacers is Indianapolis is probably the last place Khloe Kardashian is going to go.
I mean,
you got that going for them, and then they got Haliburton.
Right. How is she tied into Indiana?
Tristan Thompson.
Is that who she's?
Well, he cheats on her like every other road trip, so
But she keeps going back for some reason.
Supposedly, I didn't say that. He did. I'm not getting sued. So,
I mean, he's like knocked up people while they're together.
He has like 4 kids, none with her.
Yeah.
They got to bring in Maury Povich to do a DNA test.
He's trying to rival Nick Cannon.
Sabonis. I think Sabonis is great. I think the trade works out for the Kings in terms of their roster construction. I think it's good to get rid of Hield's contract. I think Fox and Sabonis could be a good, point guard, big man combo. But the fact that you got rid of Tyrese Haliburton, who was a budding star in this league, that was a little pricey.
See, I hate that mentality because Haliburton's good, but everybody keeps saying you traded a guy who's going to be a star. Well, he's not a star yet. Domantas Sabonis is as legit player in the league as it can get. He is one of the best players in the league. He is a double-double threat. He's an offensive. He's fantastic on offense. So why wouldn't he's 25 years old? Why wouldn't you make that deal?
Because the Kings are not a Sabonis away from being a contender. They're 15 games under 500.
You're definitely helping your team by getting rid of Haliburton, especially when you got 9 guys playing guard in Sacramento. Hold on, honey, I'm talking. Hold on, no.
The Tony Reale mute button. Can we mute him for like 30 seconds? I mean,
technically, I can, yes, but
can we give him like the points down? Like, I mean, Dennis, what are you talking about?
Stupid. He's 25.
Yeah, but he doesn't make the Kings a playoff team.
He makes them a lot better.
Oh, so they might win 29 games this season.
No, they could make they could if they gel and get their coaching.
20 games left. How many wins are you giving them?
Listen, we're not talking about this year, but if they get their coaching situation figured out and they get some things going, they have a lot of good, solid players on that team.
But let's be real here. We're talking about the Kings.
They haven't been good since their whole lineup was a bunch of white guys. And Chris Webber.
Here you go.
Here's a comment. Greg Fishbein finally gives us a comment. Now I know his real name, and it's not Speedy Claxton.
Sacramento could have the LeBron team all-star roster and still fuck it up.
I mean, that lineup was Mike Bibby, Pedro Stojakovic, Vlade Divac, Brad Miller, and Chris Webber.
I mean, Speedy's not wrong. Like, I'm not. But when you look at
calling him Speedy.
But when you look at the teams in the West who are like struggling, right? So like the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, the Blazers, the Spurs, like they can hang with that if they get somebody who could coach and develop. There's no reason they can't make a play-in game.
I'm not saying they can't, and
that's all I'm fucking saying.
I'm not saying you trade away your future star just to get to the play-in game.
You got a star.
It's possible for them to improve, but I'm just saying. I'm going back to, like I said, the Sixers track record. Let's look at the Kings track record.
It's not good.
Especially hiring coaches.
But what I'm saying though is that you got a star. You got Domantas Sabonis, who's one of the best players in the league. That is a significant upgrade from Tyrese Haliburton.
I agree that it is an upgrade right now. It's an upgrade immediately.
We don't know what Tyrese Haliburton's going to do.
It's true.
We don't know that he's going to be a star in the league. So why wouldn't you trade him? We already know De'Aaron Fox can play. So why wouldn't you get rid of Haliburton if his value is high and you're going to get a guy like Sabonis back? Hell yeah, I'm taking it.
Here's the thing. Do you think that losing Heald is going to hurt them at all?
No, because the way Harrison Barnes has been playing, he didn't get traded, so apparently they like Harrison Barnes enough to keep him. So Metu's playing well, Mitchell's playing well, so they're on the upswing.
Let's be honest, Alex. How long have we known Dennis?
Very long time.
Like 3 years, 4 years, maybe now.
Well, for you, too long, Mike.
How long has it been, Dennis? 3 or 4 years?
Too long for you.
Right? For 4 years, Dennis has been saying that the Sacramento Kings are going to arrive.
Well,
for 4 years, this is the Kings' year, and they haven't gotten over 30 wins.
Well,
Dennis,
let's just put.
I will give you a little vote of confidence here. My brother agrees with you. He said Haliburton is a young man's Barnes.
Your brother's intelligent.
And he says he's on your side.
Of course, because I'm right.
All right, Speedy. They're nowhere comparable.
Don't you talk to him like that.
But by the way, don't let Mike fool you. I had him thinking I actually brought the real Speedy Claxton into our fantasy league.
Because he's an idiot.
Well, yeah, and then Nas tried to talk to him about recruiting one of his high school players, and then we had to break the news to him.
My brother-in-law did that too. He goes, "Is that Speedy Claxton?"
Well, to be fair, Doug isn't the brightest. People from Syracuse aren't the brightest. Crayons.
That's the smartest thing you've ever said.
But anyway.
Yeah, but when you look at the... Sorry,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, but when you look at the Kings over the years, right, they've kind of just been... They haven't been like horrible Kings.
They're on the upswing.
Because they have... Holiday could turn things around. He is a Holiday. It's in his blood. He's got... Jeremy Lamb's not a slouch, so... Yeah, I don't see a reason why. I'm surprised they didn't get rid of Holmes. I thought for sure they would get rid of him, but apparently they like him enough too to keep him around. I like the Kings.
I thought for sure they would trade Harrison Barnes, actually.
Yeah, the way he's playing now, though, you cannot get rid of him.
Well, the only reason I thought is because, he's starting to get a little older too, so might as well trade him for a solid 24-year-old kind of player. But I mean, he is playing very, very well. So.
I mean, let's look at it though this way: the Clippers, the Lakers are the last teams in the West. The Pelicans are there. Those are good teams. I mean, the Lakers got beat by the Blazers last night.
True.
They're like an AAU team right now. They have nobody.
LeBron even said himself they're nowhere close to the Milwaukee Bucks level.
They're not even in the same. No. The Lakers, after the way the Lakers have been playing, should be absolutely just ashamed of themselves.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And I love how they and just one thing too, and I love that they continue to suck even with Anthony Davis back, so that we can stop blaming Russell Westbrook for everything.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
While we're still talking about the Kings, they did make another trade, and that helped the Bucks get Serge Ibaka in a 14 deal. So if I share this again,
cover Mike's face.
I can't control that. It does it on its own. So the Bucks, they get Serge Ibaka, a second-round pick from Sacramento, second-rounder from Detroit, and cash. Clippers, they get Rodney Hood, Semi Ojeleye, and Vanya Marinkovic. Never even heard that guy's name before, ever.
You never heard of Vanya?
What'd you say, Mike?
He's probably drafted by the Spurs.
Probably. The Kings end up getting Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, Trey Lyles, David Michinow, second-round pick from Detroit, and the Pistons get Marvin Bagley.
And that's going to be huge for Detroit.
Oh, yeah. So huge.
Are you being sarcastic? I can't tell.
Yes, I am being sarcastic. Just because Detroit's terrible.
Yeah,
you watch, though.
The Nets lost again.
What?
I'm sorry. I just saw the Nets score pop up and they lost again. I won.
They lost to the Wizards.
Oh,
that's embarrassing.
They don't even have most of their people anymore.
No.
So you technically just lost to Kyle Kuzma.
Cam Thomas did have 27 points. Anyway, the Kings, the Kings were in a similar situation with Bagley where they didn't want to play him. You know, not similar situation, but it was a weird situation. Like they didn't want to play him. They had to move him.
How do you lose to the Wizards?
What?
How do you lose to the Wizards? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Son of a bitch.
I don't know half the guys that got back, like you said, but it was just more of like recoup some assets, reshape. But you know what? As Dennis says, the Kings they're on the upswing.
I mean, I love getting DiVincenzo. I think DiVincenzo can be a very fine player for them. And on top of that, Milwaukee getting Serge Ibaka, I think that's a very underrated move for the Bucks.
Serge is washed.
But as a backup,
He's
like
washed.
essentially playing like the PJ Tucker role,
you could get 15 minutes out of him a game. He'll be fine.
yeah, some very solid 15 minutes. Especially, I mean, Serge Ibaka's been to the finals and everything before. He's got that veteran leadership and everything.
And you want to know something though? The way the Bucks are playing, they're such a team, and Bobby Portis too is just playing out of his mind. It's gonna.
I love Bobby Portis.
Ever since he got his ass beat by.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he got his ass.
That fight?
Mike, you're good with that. It's the European guy for the Bulls.
Tony Kukoc? Oh no, Mirotic.
Tony Kukoc. He didn't play at the same time as Bobby Portis.
Yeah, Mirotic kicked his ass, but so I mean, but Portis is playing out of his mind, and the way the Suns look, and the way the Warriors look, even though the Warriors lost the Jazz last night, but I mean, it's going to be really tough for any team to beat any of those three teams, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree.
And
Alec Walt had me on his show on YouTube real quick for an episode to just talk about the trade, and I actually said I think the three championship favorites right now are the Bucks, the Suns, and the Nets.
And you want to know something that's really bad is like, I can't discount the fact right now that there's a chance that the Cavs or the Raptors could make the NBA Finals, or at least the Eastern Conference Finals.
True, if everything falls right for them and people get healthy and stuff like that.
I mean, Serge Ibaka is at a completely different level than he's been. Van Vliet's at a completely different level than he's been. Scotty Barnes has been fantastic since he's been in the league. He's playing like a pro. He's not even playing like a rookie who needs to develop. That guy is fucking NBA ready right now. Yeah. He's like Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, same shit too. He came in, and these guys are difference makers right away. So the Raptors, we were shitting all over them, and I was making, fat guy poutine jokes, and you know what I mean? But I mean,
we did say there is an episode on our YouTube channel. We did say that the Raptors would be a playoff team once Siakam got back. And they've been playing like it.
They're playing better than a playoff team. And you want to know something, too, that's scary is that the Celtics, they got Derrick White, which is huge for them. We've been talking about how –
that one, actually.
Well, I just beat you to it so we can – but we were talking all along about how, the Celtics needed to address that need as somebody who can handle things because Marcus Smart can't. And I think Derrick White, now that he's out of San Antonio, and he's not relegated to, the on again, off again. Is he starting? Is he sitting? He's going to have a consistent role. I think he's going to shine. I think it's going to make a huge difference for the Celtics.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree. I think Derrick White gives them at least somebody that can run some sort of offense. And they only had to get rid of, Josh Richardson and who else? They got rid of somebody else. I forget who it was.
Freedom.
Yeah, Freedom. So, I mean, people were like, "Oh, Josh Richardson has been playing well recently." I'm like, "Yeah, but we know what Josh Richardson gives you. Not much."
I'd rather have Derrick White.
Oh, I'd much rather have Derrick.
A million times out of a million times.
Exactly. And the Spurs already waived Freedom, I'm pretty sure. So they cut Freedom. Yeah. Freedom's out. San Antonio's not about Freedom. They don't like Freedom.
No. Is Dragic out yet?
He should be. That's another trade. I like that for the Raptors though. Thad Young as a backup.
To who? The six other guys they got playing at the 4 and the 5?
I'd rather have Thad Young than a couple of the other guys they have back there. I'd rather have Thad Young in than like Kem Birch.
If I were the Sixers, though, I'd be picking up that phone and I'd be saying, "Goran, what are you doing? You want to come to Philly?"
Oh, if Goran Dragic gets bought out, then the Sixers definitely should be on there.
Nah, he's going back to Miami.
I mean, yeah, Miami's definitely the number one option for him. My brother said, "Beautiful forehead on that Derrick White." That is, Derrick White has a ginormous forehead.
That's racist.
How's that? What? Get the hell out of here.
Since sensitive.
The other kind of bigger name trade, CJ McCollum. So
That's
he's going to New Orleans. What'd you say?
I mean, I understand why. This is a weird move. I understand why Portland did it because it opens up a lot of cap room for them. But what is New Orleans? I mean, I guess they want to keep Zion happy, but they got to by putting good players around him. But like, you got to get Zion on the court first.
So the Pelicans got CJ, Larry Nance, who just went under knee surgery or some sort of surgery that's going to take him out for a while. Tony Snell, and they gave the Portland Josh Hart, Alexander Walker, Satoransky, Didi Louzada, a 2022 first-round pick that's protected, and then a 26 second-round pick swap and a 2027 second-round pick swap. And then Portland went and flipped Nickeil Alexander-Walker to Utah in a 3-team deal. The Blazers got out of that. I know. The Blazers got out of that Joe Ingles, whose contract is up at the end of this year anyway, and he's hurt for the rest of the season.
See, it looks weird when I drink that thing.
They got Elijah Hughes and a second-round pick from Utah. The Jazz got Alexander Walker and Juancho Hernan Gomez, and Spurs got Satoransky and a second-round pick. So, I mean, I like how Portland flipped that, but at the same time, I actually thought they were going to keep Alexander Walker. However, they do have Anthony Simons that plays about the same position.
They said to Alexander Walker? They said, nah.
Oh, my God.
I don't get it.
I'm muting him.
But the thing at Portland, I don't know what the end game is there.
Oh, they're just blowing it up at this point.
Yeah, but you think anybody wants to go to Portland?
No. That's why they gotta blow it up.
You know how many bums? Yeah. You know how many bums live on the street in Portland these days?
Oh,
a lot, trust me.
The only thing I ever hear about Portland when people say, like, "Oh, come visit Portland," is that they have good beer and they have good donuts. That's it. That's all I ever hear.
It's okay.
But beer and donuts, while I love both.
And weed.
Oh, true. They do have that too. While I love both of those things, it doesn't make me want to fly all the way out there. And especially doesn't make me want to live there as an NBA player would.
No.
But yeah, so I agree with you, Mike. That the deal for the Pelicans also confuses me because you have to wait for Zion to lose 100 pounds and come back to the court.
Don't be hating on fat guys, okay?
I'm not hating on fat guys, but
Mike's sensitive.
Zion's over Zion's over 300 pounds right now,
Hey,
and nursing a foot injury.
There's nothing wrong with being over 300 pounds.
I didn't say there was.
You
but
watch
there
it.
is if you're a professional athlete, unless you're a defensive or offensive lineman.
Well, the thing is with the Pelicans is that apparently there's like a culture change in New Orleans. Alexander Walker and Josh Hart, they after they got traded, they stayed and they watched the games. I guess guys love playing there, which is weird.
I saw that.
I mean, so I think CJ McCollum's gonna do good things, and I think the Pelicans are on the upswing, and they could make a play-in game.
I mean,
blah blah blah. They got they
when healthy, I do like the starting five of Devontae Graham, CJ McCollum, Ingram, Zion, and Valanciunas. I like that starting
and
five.
even the way Jackson Hayes, the way guys like that have been playing. Yeah, the Pelicans are shit hot right now. I mean,
they still do need to just upgrade that bench unit a good bit.
I mean, good thing the Grizzlies traded Valanciunas for Steven Adams. That was a significant upgrade.
I will say, though, Steven Adams has played very well for Memphis.
All right, I think with that I'm going to have to head out here.
That's the one that makes you head out? To wrap it up, I just want to say
didn't talk.
What? Go ahead.
We didn't talk about Dinwiddie and Kristaps.
Oh, that's true.
The
one thing I was gonna say is Charlotte Hornets getting Montrezl Harrell. I think that was a good deal, and especially they only had to give up Vernon Carey and I don't know.
And I was wondering I was surprised too because they thought PJ Washington was going to get dealt, but it's actually good that because Washington was crowded at the center. They with Gafford, Thomas Bryant, who came back from that ACL thing. They got Rui, who could play the 4 and the 3. So they got rid of that horrible contract with Bertans, and I thought it was funny too that Bradley Beal apparently didn't get along with Spencer Dinwiddie. A guy who barely plays, is injured constantly, plays on possibly the shittiest team in the league, arguably, and you don't get along with a guy like Spencer Dinwiddie, who has basically been responsible partially for taking the Nets to the playoffs. Because Kyrie went down and things. So I am so glad that Spencer Dinwiddie is out of Washington because he's way too good for Washington. I'm glad he's in Dallas and Porzingis hit the bricks. Porzingis deserves Washington. Maybe that'll teach him to shut his mouth and quit bitching and complaining. And a guy who's as hurt as he is and thinks so much of himself, who can't stay on a court, well, go prove it in Washington. Have fun playing with Kyle Kuzma and Raul Nato and Corey Kispert and Denny Avita and all these other fucktards that are playing in Washington. Get me started.
Is Washington the all street clothes team now?
Well, Bradley Beals now has made the all street clothes team because this guy,
he's been hurt a lot.
This guy cannot play at all, and I couldn't have been more wrong when I was saying that Boston needs to get trade.
I agree, and my brother said at least the Mavs got Bertans back. God forbid they drop a European white guy without re-upping.
They could a Vija or a Deidre, whatever the hell his name is.
Well, they got Maxey.
He is.
Oh, yeah, they do have Kleber.
Boban.
Oh, yes. Boban's the man. Boban.
So yeah, and then I love too that and Mike's like, I want to go so bad, but a guy who barely played, who's done nothing for that organization, zero. He's a big fish in a small pond. I think he's scared to leave Washington, to be honest with you, because he's like the king. That's why he doesn't want to go. He gets whatever the hell he wants, and he doesn't even have to play half the time.
The media doesn't trash him or anything like that. Like anywhere he goes, especially if it's to a major market, the media is going to be all over him the moment he stops performing or is too hurt all the time.
I mean, he is hurt all the time, and like I said, I couldn't have been more wrong when I suggested sending Jaylen Brown to Washington. I should have my head examined for that. So I can admit when I'm wrong. Yeah, I admit when I'm wrong.
But I will say, I think the move overall is going to be interesting for Dallas just because of balancing Brunson, Doncic, and Dinwiddie. I mean, do you start all three at the same time, or because there's also Hardaway Jr. there? I
mean, well, he's probably not coming back. I mean, he broke his metatarsal, and that's sayonara. See you next year. So and like Luka could play center if you want him to, so he'll go wherever the hell you put him.
True.
So his position's all a formality. So
yeah, that's a good point. So it looks like that's it for us in terms of talking about any deals that really move any kind of needle or anything. Anything to say before we go about the whole thing that went down when they were drafting the All-Star teams? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I saw it. I thought that was hilarious.
I thought that was good too.
Yeah. That was
Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant couldn't have. LeBron was trying to be all like, oh, and Kevin Durant's like, I do not want to be here right now.
Well, especially because KD's not even playing in it, so he's just kind of like.
And then I love it too. They're like, do you know when you're coming back? He's like, no. And that was it.
Yeah,
nothing like, well, I've been working with the trainer and I'm doing, I'll be progressing to 3-on-3 non-contact drills. None of that shit. He's just like, no.
Yeah.
He knows. He's just not saying anything. Especially with LeBron there. He's like, I don't want to be near this clown.
And I just love the reaction of, is James healthy? Well, he just got traded. He's healthy now.
Yep. And then everybody got what they wanted. So, yeah.
Yep. But looks like that is it for us. Our first live
and
episode.
I didn't mean to call Denny a Vita fucktard.
Yeah, you hurt Mike's feelings.
I was just mad because I hate Washington.
Look at Mike; he's really hurt right now.
He's tired.
I am exhausted.
That McDonald's run made his blood sugar go through the roof. It's crashing. All right. Good night.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for watching our first live show and listening. This will also be posted everywhere you get your podcasts. Make sure you check us out. We're YouTube, Twitch, everywhere you get your podcasts, like Spotify, Apple, Google, everywhere. Make sure you subscribe, like the video below, subscribe, and rate us everywhere else. Thank you guys for listening. We are
and
the
if
Atlantic
you like,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, if you like feet pics, subscribe to Mike's OnlyFans. Good night.
There you go. We are the Atlantic Files podcast, the number one podcast in the number one division in the NBA, brought to you by the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. Thank you, everyone, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.